Favorite five. Favorite five. Favorite five. Favorite five.
And welcome to Favorite Five. I'm your host, Jack, and with me, as always, are two guests that have graced the stage before. And would you introduce yourself?
I'm Rob.
My name is Janet.
Okay,
That's
this is starting out very well. I'm gonna have to get control
Hang
of
on.
the situation.
Edit. I'm Janet.
Very good. So we have Rob and Janet with me today, and today's topic on Favorite Five is your favorite meal.
Is it A meals?
A meals. Like I said when questioned, these are not my topics. These were aggregated from various sources, and we've chosen this one based on its universal love.
Yeah.
So I kind of left it a little bit open for your own interpretation. Meals. So
Meals.
Rob, let's start with you. What is your top five? What is your number five favorite five meal?
My top 5 meal is fish and chips. I love me
Oh my
fish
god,
and chips.
why did I have that on my list? That's a fabulous
Everything
meal.
we say is going to be why did I have that on my list?
That's a fabulous meal. I love
It's a
it.
cool, wonderful meal.
We all love our food, and we're going to have a lot of crossovers, if not a lot of wishes.
No, we're gonna
Yeah.
have a lot of. I wish
we
that
should
was
have
on
thought of
mine.
that, yeah.
So, fish and chips.
Fish and chips, number 5.
That's
Fridays.
Friday fish and chips. I've been doing that very recently, and
I
A
try.
good old fish fry with some vinegar on that fish.
vinegar on the fries.
Yeah, malt
No,
vinegar on the fries.
Malt vinegar on the fish.
A little lemon, a little squeeze, a little
No, nothing.
Oh,
Fish,
I don't put
fish
lemon
don't
on
need
my
nothing
fish.
but beer batter.
tartar sauce.
Beer batter, too. None of that fake non-beer batter.
Mm. Agreed. I've had shitty. Pardon. I've had bad.
You can swear all you want.
Okay, I've had bad batter on my fish, and I
That's
don't
what
like
want.
it.
I've had very poor.
It was fucking nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah, you definitely have beer batter.
Okay,
Beer batter all the way.
then fish and chips obviously struck a chord. What is your...
I'm mad that I didn't put it on mine. Like
It's alright. It's not like you can't eat the food after you put it on.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I could never eat this again.
You're not being executed in the morning. It's not your last meal.
All right.
Ooh,
All right,
Good
so my list is very Eastern European. Starting with number 5,
interesting.
pork and sauerkraut.
Oh,
Like
Oh,
on New
God
Year's
damn
Day.
it.
New Year's Day, I gotta have pork and
you didn't
sauerkraut
put it on your list either.
every year. And
My-
I make a mean pork and sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut's good and pork is good.
Oh my god!
I love
yes.
the German sausage.
No, we're not talking sausages because that'll come later into play. Pork, like I mean, like a pork roast
Oh,
with
I see what
the
you're saying.
peppercorn
Okay.
on some good
I was thinking more
Bavarian
like-
sauerkraut.
I was thinking more of like knotwurst or not knotwurst. What's that
No.
thicker stuff? I love it.
Pork roast.
Okay.
The little game that I like to play as the host of this show, I get to play my own special secret game. Well, no one knows. And for my number one pick that I thought Janet would have would be pork and sauerkraut.
So it was on the
You're
list. at
really
least.
close. I'm Eastern European, so pork and or cabbage is going to play into like 90% of my list. And pork and sauerkraut as a New Year's tradition.
Who's your favorite actress? Pork and sauerkraut.
If it comes out the Halushki,
No, 90% of this list.
If,
Halushki, I
if
said that
Halushki's
recently.
number one, then I those were the two that I waffled on. Okay, well,
Let's save it for later, people.
we're bearing the lead. Okay,
Okay.
and my number favorite five meal,
A meal.
breakfast.
Mm.
You throw bacon and eggs, breakfast, lunch, dinner, bacon and eggs,
Why did
a little
I
bit of
say
toast.
that? I love breakfast.
breakfast sausages, anything breakfast that is traditionally breakfast. I like it.
Sausage and gravy. Oh my god, there's a million breakfast foods that I love, and I should have just said breakfast is one of these. I lost an opportunity. I love breakfast. I love it.
So so far we're all batting 1,000. We all kind of agree.
Yes, breakfast is awesome. Fish and chips are awesome. I love food. I'm a foodie.
Foodie.
I love lamb.
No, I really love food a lot.
So, Rob, what is your number 4 in your top favorite 5 meals?
My number 4 is a good steak and salad. I love just steak and I love just salad, and I love them together. It has to be good.
A good steak.
It's hard to find good steak
and
nowadays.
salad.
Yep.
Do they call that a turf and turf?
They don't really call it anything. I don't think they call it steak and salad.
Turf and vegetation.
Yeah, it's the closest I get to vegetarian.
Excellent.
Steak and salad.
Oh my god, when I lived in West Virginia, steak salads were like the thing. And it was a betta salad with french fries on it. And then steak on top of it. And blue cheese. It was kind of the bomb. It was the best salad I've ever had in my life. But
Not really a salad. It's more like a steak and fries with lettuce.
on the bottom. And tomatoes and onions and everything you find on a salad underneath.
So
Wouldn't it get warm?
Yeah. It's okay. The blue
No one
cheese
ate the lettuce, I
melted.
know.
I know, seriously. By the time you got there, you were so full on the steak and the fries. West Virginia is the best place I've ever lived. I just want to point that out.
And the worst.
All of the above.
So, steak and salad. That's
Yep,
a
that's
good
my
number
second
4.
one,
Oh, how about yourself, Janet? Where do you lie on the number 4 of your favorite 5?
So when I was thinking about my favorite meals, I was thinking about what was the most satisfying meal I've ever had. And some of them apply to certain moments. So a doner kebab is my number 4. And all I can think about is getting back... Yeah, a doner kebab. Or a donair.
Or Natalie Dormer.
When you come back from Baden-Baden on the train, and you've just spent 4 hours in the hot baths in Germany, and you come back as you do,
As
because
one does, when you're in Germany.
4 hours was only like 12 euros, so you just were bathing all day, and you come back to Strasbourg, and all you can think is, God, I need a doner kebab, in the worst way. It was the best fast food that wasn't fast food in my life. And I will never, ever forget it. And I miss it every day.
Very good.
Doner kebabs.
My number 4 is sushi.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say lunch.
Oh, I love sushi.
You start with
too.
breakfast? I didn't think of sushi. Sushi
my
was
God,
I forgot to put that on my list.
it.
I'm not gonna just say sushi, sashimi, a Japanese meal that's not
You were very
say
generic in your list.
No, I thought he was going to say lunch.
You said breakfast,
lunch, dinner,
Japanese meals.
Leper.
I mean, I feel like
Secondsies, yes, I'm a hobbit. I got 5 meals here. That gets me to lunchtime. Okay, yeah. So my Hobbit.
Yeah, we both regret not putting sushi on our list.
I know, because God, we love it.
My Hobbit proclivities aside,
I've seen all 3 of us eat more of it than we need to.
Oh yeah. All you can eat sushi is the greatest invention ever.
And I was not down for it. I generally don't enjoy it because all you can eat sushi, for the most part, when we've had it before, has been the McDonald's of sushi.
Yes.
Everything was just mayonnaise and some
Deep
rice.
fries.
That sounds terrible.
It was awful. The last place we went, Wind,
Yes.
was the bomb, and we...
So if you're ever in Niagara Falls, Canada, go to Wind.
Yes. All you can eat, go sit in the back. The waitress will call you Hitler.
Oh, hello.
Oh, is this you? This is you. This is you.
True story, too.
I'm holding my fingers up underneath my nose in the Hitler mustache because, yes, I said I was in charge of the table, and she took it to the
next
degree,
level.
as it were.
But she read the table.
Yeah.
She knew that
She instantly knew Jack was a Nazi.
my pants got a little tight. I will not deny that.
Babe, I was sitting right next to you. Inappropriate.
Totes and ropes.
Rob, number 3. I'm going to take over hosting. Number 3, Rob.
Oh, am I number 3?
So, Rob, what is your number 3?
My number 3, this is my most generic one on my list, is Mexican.
Oh my God, why do I have Mexican on my list? I love food so much. I can't do the top 5 on
I can't
this.
believe you didn't think of Mexican.
I love Mexican everything.
I know, you do love Mexican.
I knew that was your top 3 for sure. I was
You actually chose to go to Mexican on your birthday.
I know. I hate my life that I can only pick 5.
Mexican is awesome.
It's awesome. Incredible. Real
much you can
Mexican,
say.
not like Taco Bell Mexican.
Well, Taco Bell Mexican's good too.
I'll
Don't
take
diss
some
it.
Taco Bell Mexican.
I'll take any
at 4
kind of
a.m.
Mexican, but
every day. But
yes, real Mexican is also good. I'll take any.
and chili relleno with Spanish rice. I hate my list.
I've only recently enjoyed Mexican due to your influence, where we've gone down
like El Toro.
Yeah, we've had Mexican people. I was grilled by.
Where's
a
El
Mexican
Toro?
woman.
Since we're advertising, that's in Ohio, is it?
El Toro in Dayton, Ohio. Actually,
There
it's
you go.
in Huber Heights.
So if you're
Ohio.
ever in Huber Heights, Ohio, go to El Toro.
It's the bomb. And Isabella, if she knows you and you bring in a strange man that you've
Tell
never
her that
brought
you
before,
heard about the place on Vinland Old Time Radio.
But honestly, if you bring in some dude you've never brought in before, she will grill you like it is her job.
And how old are you? I'll have the chili relleno, please. Yeah.
But it was a good time.
It was a good time.
But I always get hugs.
So that was my number 3.
I'm mad.
So what is your number 3? What stunning revelation? What?
I'm not going to be mad about my number 3, though. I'm mad that Mexican's on my list, or fish and chips.
Or sushi.
Because I love all those things, or sushi. But my number 3 is steak and potatoes.
Oh,
like a good,
see?
rare steak.
Yeah, exactly.
And some potatoes, whether they be baked,
I almost went
mashed,
potatoes. I
or
decided on salad,
fries.
but yes, potatoes is good.
A steak, my first date with the love of my life, when we were officially dating, was steak and
Who's this
potatoes on his barbecue in his backyard. And
What
he knew the key to my heart then.
was this guy's name?
Javier.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
I don't know where that name came from. It's actually Jack, surprisingly.
Coincidentally, because you're also dating Jack now.
That is
Yeah,
cool,
it's
too,
different
yeah.
Jack. Different Jack. This Jack knew the key to my heart was our
Before he
first
said big deal.
official date when he finally could really ask me out on a date. It was steak
Yeah.
on his patio.
It's a date.
And
Yes.
Javier, he did eventually go on to start a Coen Brothers movie, so that's good.
Oh yeah, Javier Bardem.
So
I just not the name drop.
yeah, okay, steak. That's
No, but
that's a classic.
genuinely, even before I met Jack,
Steak's good.
a steak will make
course
my
steak's
life
good.
complete.
Steak's good.
And potatoes, you go wrong.
My in my favorite 5, my number 3 slot is a pizza, but most specifically bacon, anchovy, and hot pepper pizza.
Yeah, it's
Of
really
course
good.
it is.
That
I never
is
thought
my
of pizza. I do love pizza, but
that
I love
is
pizza,
my
but it
go-to.
didn't make my top 5.
nah,
If I'm not feeling well, that's my comfort
well,
food.
it'll burn it out of you. That's
If
why.
someone says, "What's your comfort food?" Bacon, anchovy, hot pepper pizza. Boom, right there. Try it, you'll love it.
Why didn't I have Chinese food on my list?
I didn't either.
That's another thing. I love Chinese food. I love it.
Honorable mentions. That's all this
Damn
is.
it. My honorable mention is everything you guys have said, because I've all made my honorable mention. I love food. I love it.
Yeah. So, what's your number 2? Number 2 in our top 5 favorite 5 meals.
My number 2 is another ethnic food, as they say, Euros, especially from Garrison Sub in Fort Erie.
Oh, Euro.
If you're ever in Fort Erie, Ontario, leave. But Garrison's,
Yes.
yes, a Euro, nice Greek wrap,
A Euro pita with they make sure it's
stuffed full of Euro meat.
Yeah.
If I could have a Euro pit on my counter and I just eat it,
Yes.
I don't think it's
sanitary.
sanitary, but
You wouldn't eat
I don't
it
care.
at the rate it would take for it to rot. But
I wouldn't care.
and Janet, what is your number 3?
I actually, number 2. Babe, we're on number 2.
We're on number 2.
number 2.
I love Euros, but donors beat Euros because of the time in my life with donors. But number 2 is pierogies.
No, I love pierogies too.
I love pierogies, whether they be store-bought, and you just throw them in the oven, fry them up with some onions and bacon. I have actually...
You don't boil your pierogies? You boil them
Rob.
and then fry them.
Rob. We're not going to talk about that, but I've actually sat there for 7 hours rolling dough, mincing all the ingredients, and making homemade pierogies for 7 hours. In the fashion that my mom's baba would have done it, which is Polish for grandma.
So it's like
But I learned it from my Polish friend Dottie, because obviously my baba wasn't alive when I was. So whether they be homemade or store-bought, good old pierogies with some bacon, onion, and sour cream. Can't beat it.
That is yummy.
Comfort food.
That is very
delicious. No matter what the filling. Homemade, my best filling was mushroom pierogies.
Oh,
But store-bought, sauerkraut, and potato.
Very good.
good choice, good choice.
My number 2 is when I'm feeling decadent and want a little snack, smoked oysters.
Oh, well, aren't you fancy?
He is fancy.
Smoked oysters, a little splash of hot sauce on them, and I get a beer, some smoked oysters with a little thing of Tabasco, or if I want to get a
You
little...
just described a picture in my house. My dad has a. It's a
Oh.
Pabst Blue Ribbon, a thing of oysters, and it's a thing of Tabasco.
Well,
It's a painting in my home.
if at any point you're having a garage sale, let me know. I'll take it off your hands. An estate sale, perhaps
That's right.
you're
Hey.
Wow.
Anyway.
It sounds like it is hailing out.
And yes,
Actually,
so oysters.
Oysters.
And Janet likes when you have oysters too.
I actually,
raw oysters. Your sister's wedding.
Yeah. Raw oysters.
That oyster bar. An oyster bar is amazing too. I went to.
They taste like snot.
I know,
No,
right?
they
Like,
don't.
is it just me? But
No,
when you
I
like
like raw
eat
oyster.
raw oyster, it's like when you have a really bad cold and
Yep.
that mucus
Yep.
plug goes down your throat, and you're like, and that's what eating an oyster tastes like. Oh God, I hate them. I hate them with every fiber of my being.
And sometimes, if you have oysters and peaches or oysters and banana, you get them. You just
That's odd.
That's like all sorts of vomit in my mouth.
No, she hates
Oh, I
both
see.
peaches and.
I was gonna say that's
I tried. I'm a good sport, and I will try any food once. Right? Like I'm not above trying anything that people eat to live. Right? Like fine.
I am.
Oysters, New Year's Eve, they're like, it's raw oysters, and they're like, yeah, just shuck it, and then squeeze a little lemon on it, and I was like, okay, boop, boop, boop. Like, I feel like I'm hawking up a loogie, but I'm supposed to swallow this. Like, this is supposed to go down my throat.
I don't think she likes your number 2.
Yeah,
the next
favorite
year,
5 has always been a judgment-free kind of like a.
I'm not
all
judging
good.
you. You said smoked, right?
Yes,
But I'm saying
you've
I
had
gave
smoked.
I gave 2 good tries to the raw oyster movement, and I was like, the second one, I was like, no, this is never happening again. I cannot choke on my own mucus right now. And then smoked oysters, I did try them. They were not as bad as raw oysters.
But that's what I'm feeling a little treat.
Nice.
That's a win for smoked oysters.
So we're going to break now for a commercial, and we'll be right back with our top 5 favorite 5 meals.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, Rob.
Funny meeting you here.
In the studio, in front of the mic. It's uncanny.
It's not a regular occurrence anymore. Ever since Studio H got shut down for, well, things.
Violations. Health code violations. You know how it is.
Ever since that happened, it's not been as regular.
Speaking of regular, you regularly update your Twitter account.
I call it our Twitter account because it's Vinland OTR.
And what does that stand for, Rob?
Vinland Old Time Radio. That's this little podcast we do. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Have not.
That's funny because you recorded it. Oh, I didn't tell you were recording?
No, this is just me being me. Anyways, so if someone would want to follow your Twitter account,
Our Twitter account.
how would they do that?
At Vinland OTR.
Fantastic. And people who don't want to follow our Twitter account, who are on Twitter, you make baby Jesus cry. Live with that.
At Vinland OTR. 2 N's in Vinland. It's not Vineland, it's Vinland. If you can't spell, we don't want you.
And we're back. We are now going to learn what our top 1 choice for favorite meals are. And we're going to start with Rob. What is your number 1 slot?
Did you guess for me?
I did.
Oh, are you going to tell me what you guessed, or can I just say?
I've got my thumb
Okay.
hovering.
My answer is, drumroll please, lobster.
You
got it?
He nailed it.
It's pretty obvious because I do love lobster.
You do.
Okay, well,
Ever since I was a little, really young kid, I've been eating a lobster, and my parents are always amazed that I just break open a lobster and eat it when I was
an
4.
infant.
Yes.
Nom, nom, nom.
Yeah. So I've been eating lobster all my life, and I love it, and it is the best. And it's hard to get good lobster anymore because they've killed them all.
And,
And good
that
for
is
you.
sad. That is sad. That's a fact, true fact, but also a victory for me for choosing.
You did. I'm glad you got it.
I know you.
You know, you're good at these, Jack. You're good at guessing top 5s.
I am.
He didn't guess mine because he guessed mine as my number 5.
But then I did say if it's not, then it is, and I think I was correct. And what is your number 1 top meal?
My number 1 meal is halushki because my grandma made it like a
For
freaking
those
champ.
who don't know, what is
Okay, so
halushki?
halushki is, and this could be like a made-up word for a meal that they've passed down family to family. I don't know the true definition of halushki. Halushki in my family is you saute onions and garlic in butter, and then after you pour it over noodles and saute the noodles in that same, so it gets, the noodles aren't just cooked, but they
They're
have like a little
infused.
brownish, yeah. And the onions and garlic, and then you throw on kielbasa on top. And it is...
You've cooked it for us before.
Yes, absolutely.
It was really
and
good.
It's onions and cabbage. I forgot the
Yes.
cabbage. Obviously,
It's
cabbage
cabbage.
is like making a big segue into my top 5 is cabbage. So it's cabbage and onions sauteed with a little bit of garlic, salt and pepper, and butter. It has to be butter. It can't be oil. With your
Very
noodles.
tasty.
and then some kielbasa on top, or as they say in West Virginia, kielbasi. It is. I've never had a comfort food like that in my life. At the same time, no one has ever made it like my grandma. But I like to think I come a close second because I make it better than my mom.
You have made
I
it,
thought
and
my
it's
mom
really
was
good.
a close second. It's probably the best meal ever because it's so simple
And tasty.
and yet so
a lot of
delicious.
tastes going on, different tastes.
So delicious.
It is a good.
It's a hearty meal. It's a
It
very
is.
good.
I don't make it in the summer. If I do make it in the summer, I've made it with summer squash
Yes.
or with spaghetti squash instead of noodles. But
Good stuff.
very delicious.
Very good. And my number one is...
Hang on, can we guess?
Yes.
I have no idea.
So he's already said pizza with...
I'm going to say chips because he eats that for dinner all the time.
Yeah, right? Or microwave popcorn.
Yes.
So he's already said chips. He's already said sushi. He's already said breakfast.
This is my special game, so
He's already said
might as well-
oysters.
No, Jack's the expert.
So Jack's number one. Okay, so here's the things I know about Jack. Anytime Jack's at a new restaurant he's never been to before, he orders a hamburger. To make sure if the restaurant's any good, if they ruin a hamburger, they've ruined the meal completely. They can't cook anything else if they can't cook a decent hamburger. Jack makes a phenomenal
He does. His hamburgers are
homemade
amazing.
hamburger
Yeah.
that I've never had in my life.
Yeah. You've never had his hamburger?
No, that I've never had anything
Yeah.
equivalent in my life.
It is.
Jack
Jack
makes
is an expert.
a
homemade
hamburger like a...
If you're ever in
like a
Fort
motherfucker.
weekend, come to
Come
Jack's
see
house.
Jack's house. Like, if you want a good hamburger, you come to Jack's house. But would that be Jack's number one?
Is it your number one, Jack?
My number one is a hamburger.
Yay! You sussed it out.
If I go to a restaurant, it doesn't matter.
She already
The
explained
first thing that I will purchase is a hamburger. It's a very plebeian, it's not highfalutin by any stretch of imagination, but a good burger tells me that they know what they're doing behind
you're right, because it's hard to make a good burger.
Because
grill.
if they screw up a burger,
They're
they're
not
not
gonna-
going to make anything else right.
I
That's
don't
a good
walk
point.
into a place, go, I've never eaten here before, or let's get some seafood. Like, I
Right.
don't do that. I'm pretty brave, but I don't, just start dining on squid.
Ooh, squid.
Oh my god, I can't believe I guessed your number one.
It's because you're the same person.
We're not
So,
the same
that is our
person.
top five. Now, any
Honorable mentions.
honorable
I
mentions?
think,
from-
like Janet said, mostly everybody else's list is.
I
honorable
know,
mentions.
right? Like, Mexican,
Sushi, for sure.
sushi, breakfast. Everyone knows I'm from the Midwest. We like our breakfast all the time, 24/7.
Chinese food.
Chinese food, yeah.
Chinese
never really
food,
thought
I
about
wish
it.
I would have said that.
Yes.
It is good. Chinese food's almost, or at least around here, it's so like always there that you don't really. Same with pizza. I never really thought of it.
But the thing with all of those is, if I was going to pick pizza, I have to pick it from a certain place. Like,
Yeah,
it's very
it's a little more
specific.
specific,
Pizza is
yeah.
very specific for me. Chinese food is very specific. Like, egg foo young is my comfort meal, but only if they make the gravy a certain way. And I've only found one restaurant in the past 20 years that makes the gravy the right way, because the other one closed it down in Dayton. So I found a place in Buffalo that makes it just the way it's supposed to be.
So, Janet, what is your honorable mentions?
Everything that I didn't say that you guys said.
Except for oysters.
Except for oysters. Oysters I can't do.
Okay.
But
So,
like the fish and chips, I love a good fish and chips. I love ribs. I could eat ribs
ribs, yeah.
all day.
barbecue.
But if they're not good ribs, I don't like them.
Pulled
Like
pork
I
or-
think that's the thing is where halushki I've only ever had homemade. And
Yeah,
I
that's
love it.
something special. Yeah, for sure.
Pierogies
Yeah.
are kind of specific. Like everything, I don't know. Like I
You
can't,
tie it to like memories where we were just like, I
Yeah.
like the taste of that.
Well, I love a steak. I love,
I
a
love
steak.
your steak.
My first date with Jack being steak wasn't specific. I love a steak. I loved steak before I met Jack, but it did tie to a memory as well.
Excellent. Okay, well, that is going to wrap it up
Do
for
you
our...
have any honorable mention?
I went Chinese food.
That's it.
I could go with more. I'm going to try... I have
I'm not saying you have to have
shawarma
more.
from an Indian place in...
Indian food.
I
I
love
forgot what
Indian
Indian
food.
food.
is good.
There's too much good food.
There's
I know.
there's a Vietnamese place near my new work that I'm going to try. I've never had Vietnamese
pad thai.
before.
Oh,
No,
I
that's
love
Thai.
pad
Thai
thai.
food too.
Thai. Oh,
Thai food with even like a king soup or something. Yeah. So we're not picky eaters.
We like our mix of foods.
And we come to the part of the show where we decide who has to do what. And
But where?
As for foods, we've just discussed some wonderful meals. None of us have not had anything that's...
Yeah, we've all eaten each other's meals.
So it's not something... This is a very first-time thing. I don't know how we would wrap this up.
I think we should all go out for sushi.
Okay. Let's do it.
Fine, okay, let's go. Bye.
Deal.
So, that will wrap it up for this edition of Favorite 5. This was Favorite 5 Meals. And if anyone has any suggestions or their list they want to share with us, how would they do that, Rob?
They can record it, send it to us. We'll throw it up. We want to have some extensions to these with other people giving their lists. So
we want to do a Favorite 5 follow-up, the FFF. So just get a hold of us, and you know how.
Record it, send it to us at VinlandOldTimeRadio@gmail.com.
Isn't it Vinland OTR?
No, that's our Twitter. Is Vinland OTR.
Oh, the Twitter.
You said Twitter.
I'm sorry, I pronunciate.
It should be Twitter, right?
Twitter.
Twitter.
He's sorry.
He's like,
I'm sorry.
Twitter.
I'm sorry.
He's
Does
sorry.
he process things?
He processes things.
Processed.
And on that bombshell, thank you and good night. That is this edition of Our Favorite 5. Favorite 5 has been brought to you by Vinland Old Time Radio Productions. Thank you for joining us. I've been your host, Jack. Thank you and good night.
So, here we are, day 382, trying to think of an ad.
I'm hungry, cold, tired. I think the wolves are after us.
We did eat both the dogs.
Let's just get an ad.
One ad.
All we need.
VinlandOldTimeRadio.podbean.com.
Your tears are salty. They're nourishing me.
Help me.
Vinland Old Time Radio.podbean.com. Damn you to hell.
Why have you forsaken us?
Why have you made yourself so funny?